In a universe where Logan, known to most as Wolverine, had died several years ago, Deadpool, dressed in his full red and black suit, stood over Wolverine's grave with a shovel in hand. A strange hope filled his mind, a belief that Wolverine could never really die. With that thought driving him, Deadpool began digging, slowly and methodically, as if each strike of the shovel would bring his old friend back. But his hope crumbled when the shovel hit something hard, something metallic. The sound confirmed his worst fear. Logan was truly gone. Frustrated, Deadpool hurled the shovel and other nearby objects in every direction, venting his helpless rage. Suddenly, without warning, a portal opened behind him, and out stepped soldiers from an organization known as the TVA, Time Variance Authority, a group that monitors the timelines of the multiverse. Deadpool, utterly clueless as to why these soldiers were after him, did what he does best. He fought. In a frenzy of chaos, he slaughtered the TVA agents, one after another, refusing to be captured. After barely escaping the TVA's clutches, Deadpool returned to his usual chaotic life. He soon found himself at the Avengers' headquarters, applying to join their ranks. The truth was, Deadpool felt lost. Everything he had done up until that point seemed pointless, and he wanted to make a difference. He also sought this new path to please his girlfriend, Vanessa, who had encouraged him to do something meaningful with his life. Despite his intentions, the Avengers rejected him, stating that he didn't meet their requirements. 6 years later, Wade Wilson, aka Deadpool, had abandoned his superhero persona. He now worked as a car salesman, having chosen to leave his vigilante days behind after being rejected by the Avengers. Deadpool no longer felt the need to fight for a world that didn't seem to value his efforts. Instead, he focused on his small family and his loyal friend, Peter, who had stuck by his side through thick and thin. One evening, Deadpool and Peter were biking home from work when Wade's old instincts kicked in. He sensed that someone was watching them, the same eerie feeling he'd had when the TVA soldiers had first come for him. Though suspicious, Deadpool brushed it off and continued home. When he walked through the door, he was greeted with a surprise birthday party, organized by the people he loved most. Despite the joy in the room, Deadpool couldn't fully escape his troubles. His mother kept bringing up the family's financial struggles, but Deadpool kept a brave face trying to enjoy the moment. At the party, Deadpool saw Vanessa, the love of his life. Though they had separated, with Deadpool unable to live up to what Vanessa wanted him to be, the connection between them was undeniable. Just as the warmth of the celebration began to sink in, everything was interrupted by the sudden arrival of the TVA soldiers once again. They were there for Deadpool, and this time he wasn't going down without a fight. As chaos erupted once more, Deadpool tried to escape, but before he could make a move, he was pulled into a portal, leaving everything and everyone behind. Deadpool, now in the custody of the TVA, is informed about the reason behind his capture. At this point, we're introduced to a universe guardian from Universe 10,005 named Paradox. Paradox reveals that Deadpool has the potential to become a hero in another universe, giving him a brief glimmer of hope about his future. However, once Deadpool learns that his universe is set to be destroyed because it no longer has an anchor being, he quickly refuses the offer. Deadpool insists he won't leave his small family behind. It's then revealed that the anchor being Paradox was referring to is Logan, who is already dead. Paradox, frustrated by Deadpool's refusal, reveals the real reason behind his actions. He is tired of protecting a hopeless universe, and the only way to escape this duty is by erasing it entirely. This angers Deadpool, who steals a teleportation device and sets out to find a suitable version of Logan from another universe to save his own. He travels through multiple universes, encountering different versions of Logan, including one with the face of Superman, who immediately kills Deadpool when he asks for help. After countless failed attempts, Deadpool finally stumbles upon a version of Logan who looks just like the one from his own world. But this Logan is a drunken mess, drowning his sorrows at a bar. Seeing an opportunity, Deadpool drags this Logan back to the TVA. Paradox reveals that Deadpool has chosen the worst possible version of Logan, one who is unreliable and always runs away when people need him most. In the middle of their conversation, Paradox suddenly uses a staff to send both Deadpool and Logan into a void universe, a place where failed individuals are discarded. Furious, Logan begins beating Deadpool brutally, demanding answers for the mess they're in. Their fight is interrupted when Deadpool promises he can fix Logan's world using the TVA. Just then, a mysterious figure in a black turban calls out to them, warning that a gang resembling Mad Max-style warriors is approaching. This figure calmly walks towards them, and as he removes his hood, it is revealed to be Chris Evans, though not as Captain America, but Johnny Storm from the Fantastic Four, complete with his fiery powers and ability to fly. At the same time, we are introduced to Sabretooth, who has a deep-seated hatred for Wolverine and has always sought to make Logan's life miserable. Sabretooth immediately challenges Logan, and the two prepare to clash. However, what was expected to be an epic battle turns out to be surprisingly quick and simple, as Logan swiftly decapitates Sabretooth in one clean strike, leaving his head separated from his body. At first, the victory seemed promising for Deadpool and his crew. However, when Bucky ordered Top Took to capture them, the three of them were easily trapped by a magnet and transported somewhere by car. During the ride, they wondered where they were being taken, and Johnny speculated that they might be heading to someone named Cassandra Nova, a notorious figure with deadly telekinetic powers. Johnny knew this because he had encountered her before, but managed to escape when a lethal monster named Elliot tried to devour him. As they traveled, Logan and Deadpool continued to argue, with Logan still furious at Deadpool for dragging him into this void universe. In his anger, Logan even unsheathed his claws, ready to attack Deadpool, but the magnet pulling at his metal-laden body kept him immobile. When they arrived at what used to be Ant-Man's headquarters, they were met by dozens of mutants, all exiled to this void universe. Moments later, their leader, Cassandra Nova, appeared. Cassandra Nova, the younger sister of Charles Xavier, had been stuck in the void for a long time, and she had long harbored a grudge against Johnny. Deadpool, ever the troublemaker, egged Cassandra Nova on, revealing that Johnny had insulted her during their journey, which resulted in Johnny's immediate death. Cassandra Nova then turned her attention to Logan, saying he was the only mutant sent to this wasteland and inviting him to join her. Logan, however, refused outright. He only wanted to return to his own universe and fix his life. Disappointed, Cassandra Nova mocked Logan for being the only one rejected by every world. Enraged, Logan tried to attack her, but with her immense powers, she easily buried him in the ground. Cassandra Nova then entered Deadpool's mind, trying to manipulate his emotions by making him feel guilty about his relationship with Vanessa. Fortunately, Deadpool snapped out of it just in time, and Wolverine, having freed himself, attacked Cassandra Nova from behind. In retaliation, Cassandra Nova summoned the monster Elliot to devour both of them. However, Deadpool and Logan managed to escape using a pair of transformer-like legs they found. They stopped at an abandoned diner, looking for food. There, Deadpool began to open up, venting his frustrations about being rejected by the Avengers, the X-Men, and even Vanessa. After a bit of rest, they resumed their journey, trying to find a way out of the void universe. Along the way, they were met by a dog version of Deadpool, Dogpool, and another Deadpool from a different universe, who introduced himself as Handsome Deadpool. Handsome Deadpool revealed that there were many more versions of Deadpool scattered across the void, and offered to help by showing them the way to the border. They all piled into handsome Deadpool's Honda Odyssey and set off. During the ride, Deadpool teased Wolverine about his costume, accidentally letting slip that maybe they could fix Wolverine's world after all. This annoyed Wolverine, as he realized there was no guarantee they could do that. Deadpool eventually admitted that he needed Wolverine to help save his family. The two began fighting again, completely unaware that they had been battling each other the entire day. Exhausted, they both fell asleep in the car. While they slept, someone quietly infiltrated the car and transported them to a place stocked with ample food and water. Not long after, several new superheroes appeared: Elektra, Blade, and Gambit, played by Channing Tatum. Gambit wielded his power to control cards as weapons. During this, Deadpool learned a shocking piece of information. Magneto was now dead. In the middle of their discussion, Laura, also known as X-23, a child saved by Logan in his universe, arrived, brought to the Void along with others by the TVA. The only way out of this desolate place was through Cassandra Nova, and the group was surprised that Deadpool and Wolverine had survived an encounter with her. Other heroes like the Punisher, Daredevil, Wiccan, and Silver Surfer had not been so lucky. Deadpool suggested they all band together to defeat Cassandranova, but they needed the helmet of Juggernaut, which could block her telepathic powers. Tired of hiding, the group finally agreed to confront her. That night, Laura approached Wolverine, sensing his guilt about abandoning his friends when they needed him most. However, after hearing Laura's story about the Wolverine in her universe, he began to come to terms with his past. Meanwhile, Paradox contacted one of Cassandranovan's subordinates, ordering them to kill her, as she was becoming too dangerous to control. The next morning, Deadpool and his companions set off in a vehicle to return to Cassandranovan's base. Of course, their arrival was immediately noticed by the guards, but Blade took charge, blasting open the gate with a bazooka, allowing them easy access. Once inside, they were immediately met by Cassandra-Nova's army, sparking a massive battle between the superheroes and her forces. Deadpool and Wolverine headed straight for Cassandra-Nova, while Laura faced Juggernaut in a one-on-one battle. Upon reaching Cassandra-Nova, Deadpool was quickly defeated, leaving Wolverine to continue the fight. As Cassandra-Nova attempted to infiltrate Wolverine's mind, Laura finally managed to defeat Juggernaut and threw his helmet toward Deadpool. Inside Wolverine's mind, Cassandra-Nova taunted him, showing him memories of when he abandoned his friends, arriving too late after his fellow X-Men had been slaughtered. She tried to convince him to stay with her, offering a new path. But before she could manipulate Wolverine further, Deadpool seized the opportunity and placed the Juggernaut's helmet onto her head, rendering her telepathic powers useless. With Cassandra-Nova powerless, the group finally managed to subdue her. Deadpool, ready to end things, prepared to kill her, but just then Cassandra-Nova's subordinate, whom Paradox had called the previous night, shot her unexpectedly. Wolverine, however, asked Deadpool to spare her, saying that if Charles Xavier knew where Cassandra-Nova was, he might be able to help her. Touched by this, Cassandra-Nova softened and agreed to open a portal back to the real world. Deadpool, now wearing a ring he had stolen from Doctor Strange after killing him a few days earlier, and Wolverine both stepped through the portal, falling right in front of Peter Parker, who was busy serving customers. Meanwhile, Cassandra-Nova's subordinate confessed that Paradox had ordered him to kill her. On the other side, Paradox barred Deadpool from re-entering the TVA. But just then, Cassandra-Nova appeared, using the opportunity to enter Paradox's mind. Within Paradox's thoughts, Cassandra-Nova discovered his plans to construct a device capable of erasing entire timelines. Realizing its potential, she decided to use it herself, intending to eliminate all timelines so she could become a god. Not long after, Dogpool arrived alongside Handsome Deadpool, and behind them were 100 other Deadpools who immediately launched an attack. Deadpool used Handsome Deadpool as a shield, but to his surprise, Handsome Deadpool didn't have the power of regeneration. Handsome Deadpool's death gave Deadpool the opportunity to snatch the golden pistol he had been eyeing for a while. Meanwhile, Wolverine casually walked while carrying Dogpool, which kept him from being attacked. With no other choice, the two fought against the entire army of Deadpools and easily defeated them all. Unfortunately, all the Deadpools regenerated and came back to life. A moment later, another Deadpool arrived, Peter, with his potbelly in full view. Peter's arrival caused all the other Deadpools to stop attacking, as he shouted that the Deadpool they were fighting was also their friend. Meanwhile, Cassandra Nova had arrived at the timeline-destroying device and prepared to use it. At the same time, Paradox informed Deadpool and Wolverine that to destroy the timeline device, they would need to connect its power source, matter and antimatter, but whoever did it would certainly die. Cassandra Nova began activating the timeline-destroying device, while Deadpool and Wolverine debated over who would make the ultimate sacrifice. Wolverine insisted it had to be him since he had no one left. Wolverine walked into the power source room, but was suddenly struck from behind by Deadpool, who declared that it had to be him because he was Marvel Jesus. Deadpool began to handle one of the matter cores, but struggled to grab the second one. Meanwhile, Cassandra Nova was close to successfully destroying the timelines. Luckily, Wolverine broke into the room in time to help Deadpool grab the second core, and together they managed to combine the two, thwarting Cassandra Nova's plan and erasing her from existence. Paradox, having been caught trying to use the timeline-destroying device, was captured by TVA agents. During a discussion, Deadpool and Wolverine, whom everyone thought had been destroyed, suddenly reappeared. It turned out that they had merged in order to destroy the timeline device, and B-15, a TVA agent, remarked that whatever they did had successfully restored the timeline and prevented its destruction. Deadpool also asked B-15 to return the people to their original places, while Wolverine was allowed to remain in Deadpool's universe.
They'd be lucky to have you.
Oh, come on. Fuck off! So what are you gonna do next?
So I'll probably see you around. Wants to matter. Turns out that you don't need to be Marvel Jesus to do it. Old friends. And some new ones.
Been busy?